What's up, everybody? It is the Sports Code, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. This is going to be a Chicago Bulls specific update with a few of other news here and there. So before we get started, if you enjoy the Chicago Bulls, they've got a lot to talk about. You got Coby White, Zach LaVine missing games, player returns, position potentially being moved for a couple of players. If you enjoy what I'm about to say, please like and subscribe. Let's get a community going and we'll jump straight into the video. This is going to be a big one. It's not going to be a negative one like the last couple with the Bulls ownership and all of that. But however, I got to say my opinions on the matters are still pretty much the same. In fact, with the Bulls owners, Coby White should be starting, and Zach LaVine's frustrations. But we'll go into the news for now. So I want to start off with Wendell Carter Jr. So obviously Wendell Carter came back recently. I believe it was against the Knicks when he first came back. He's been okay. He's been all right. Of course, coming back from an injury, it's nothing too major about his performances at the moment. But there's been a lot of rumors, and I think it came out of his mouth himself that at the end of the season he wants to talk about moving into the power forward position. Now, I've had a lot of debates with my friends about this, and a lot of people can really want Wendell Carter Jr. to play the power forward position. For me, I'm a bit on the edge. Now, I know he played power forward in college, and I know that he got the best out of the center in college, and I know that he's a player that makes people better because he does all the dirty work that not a lot of players want or can do, and that's something that's so special about Wendell Carter, and that's why I think he's going to have a great career, hopefully for his entire career at the Chicago Bulls. I think he's one of the Bulls' favorite players in terms of the ownership and the management, but as well as the fans. He is a very special player for us. So moving him to the power forward position, I don't see it being a major deal. Especially if we can move Lauri to the 5. I guess Lauri is a taller option, so he I think Lauri Markkanen can destroy centers offensively. So maybe that is the way to go in the future of swapping them around. Have Lauri Markkanen guard the weaker of the 4 or the 5, but as well having Wendell Carter playing the power forward position and letting the center would I would assume would be Lauri Markkanen, see how he goes in that retrospect. I can see this being a thing, but I don't see it being a major difference because I think Wendell Carter has adapted to the center role very, very well. But obviously, in his mind, he believes he can do better at the power forward position. And at the moment, the Bulls, I think if it was going to be done, let's do it now because the Bulls at the moment, playoffs are very, very miracle-based at the moment. There's no real chance of us fighting for the playoffs. At least that's what I believe. But nevertheless, we've got time to experiment new things, and this is why I believe Coby White should be starting, and I believe we should give Wendell Carter at least a chance to prove himself at the power forward position. Why not? There's always something that you could find that you just never knew you had, and Wendell Carter could be a prime example of a player that could just get better and better with a different position, and we would never know because we've never tried it. So I believe let's try new things with Wendell Carter. Let's try new things with Lauri Markkanen. At the end of the day, they're young and growing players, so it's okay to try new things. This is why Coby White should be starting as well. It's okay to try and have Coby White start a game and see where we go from there. There's nothing wrong with that. And as a Bulls fan at the moment, there's not real much positivity going around our club, our team, because of the ownership and because of our recent performances. It's been really bad. But we've got something to at least look forward to if we try new things throughout the end of the season. And that's what I hope we do. But I think it's going to be a little bit too little too late. I don't think we're going to change much. And at the end of the day, there's nothing we can do about that. We just got to hope that we can experiment some things while we still have a season to experiment. I don't want to be experimenting things in preseason and in the start of the next season where a lot of these things will mean a lot. We've got to have a new rookie, I assume, by the next season. It's going to be too much. Let's start the experiment process now. Let's see where we go from whether if it's winning more games or not, it doesn't matter because I don't think we're getting a high draft pick anyway. So we may as well experiment things. And if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. Nothing else. There's nothing else we can talk about in terms of that retrospect. We have a good enough team to finish off the season well, but I don't think our team is good enough to make the playoffs. And with all our players back, I don't think our team is bad enough to drop into the top 3. So that's where I stand on the matter. We'll go into Zach LaVine now. Zach LaVine has missed a couple of games. I'm not really sure why, to be honest. I have no idea why Zach LaVine has missed a couple of games. But I think it was 2 games, and we're 1-1. We beat the Mavericks, and that's a very good performance. I think Coby White really shined in that game as well. That's a hint to what we're going to talk about later. I've given you pretty much, about 5 hints in the beginning of the video. And I believe we lost to the Timberwolves. Now, I really wanted to see Zach LaVine play against the Timberwolves, but at the end of the day, if it's just a break or something that's needed, I completely understand that. He's carried our team the whole season, and we respect him for that, and maybe a break is due. I think maybe the frustrations with Zach LaVine also could have pushed over, and he might need a break from that as well to kind of get himself in the right place. Whatever it is, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just a minor knock. Who knows? I don't know, but I think we've really missed Zach LaVine, especially in the Minnesota game, because I really think we could have won that game with Zach LaVine in the team. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We can move on from that. That's a small topic of discussion. Next up, we've got player returns. Now, since the last video, a lot of players have returned. We'll start off with Otto Porter. Otto Porter came back. He scored 18 points, and I believe we won that game. I believe that was against the Mavericks as well. It's really good to see Otto Porter back. I honestly didn't expect him to come back this season. I made a video earlier in the year about him potentially missing the season, maybe last game as a Bull. But we've got to see him now, and I think we've really, really missed him. And I think our season could have been much different if he was not injured, because he could have given us a real good 3-and-D type player that could have maybe edged us over so many close games that we've lost. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I really want to see Otto Porter next season, so I hope that there's a pay cut in order to bring him back, and I hope he's willing to accept that. I feel like a lot of people don't want to be in Chicago, and there's also rumors about Zach LaVine now getting a little bit frustrated about being in Chicago. But I hope that's all just talk, because a lot of the time it is. And if no one comes out and says it, if Woj doesn't say it, then it's not. I don't really believe it, to be honest. So all this talk about them not wanting to be in Chicago, until someone credible says it, then I'm not going to believe it. And with Otto Porter, I think it's a good thing if we can bring him back. And I hope we can. I hope there's a pay cut in order. I hope he accepts it. I hope that we can start building a foundation of a team here, because we do have some really good young players. We also have some good experienced players in this team. Another player that has come back is Lauri Markkanen. Dropped 8 points in the first half. I'm not really sure how well he did throughout the game, but it's good to see Lauri Markkanen back. I know he's had a pretty tough season in terms of his regression or his form, but this is, for me, all down to the coaching staff with Lauri Markkanen. Yes, he's an excellent 3-point shooter, but that's not all he is. I believe he's developed a little bit of a post game. I believe that he's improved defensively, even if it's just a little bit. I believe he's a lot stronger, so he can probably play the center position. I believe in all these things that we can try with him, but I just don't see him standing in the corner or standing after a pick a pop and shooting. I don't see him as just that type of player. I could truly see Lauri Markkanen averaging 20 points for the rest of his career, bar this season, of course, because I think he's averaging around 15. And I think there just needs to be more done with him. That's what I believe. And like I said before, this is all about the experimental period with the Chicago Bulls, because playoffs seems to be a hype dream. It's just not in the cards at the moment with Magic and Brooklyn performing the way that they are, and they still have very easy schedules, especially the Magic. They have a very easy schedule. So playoffs doesn't look like it's going to happen for anybody. That looks like it's locked in for the East at least. So let's experiment. Let's play Lauri Markkanen at center. Let's put him in the post more. Let's let him bring up the ball. Why not? He's shown that he has decent dribble moves for a center or for a power forward. Let's create some things around him. Let him set up some plays. There's probably so much that we haven't seen from Lauri Markkanen, and that's why he's so frustrated, and he probably plans to leave because we don't see what he can do. We only see bits and pieces of him being a very good shooter. Like there's so much more we could do. Let's see what he believes he is good at. When it comes to his versatility, if it is just being in the post, they put him in the post more. If it is playmaking, give him the ball from at the top of the key and let him create something. If it's maybe it's just a fast break thing, we don't know. We can't just sit here and say Lauri Markkanen is only a 3-point shooter, because I don't believe that, and I don't think many Bulls fans believe that. I think, and this is what the coaching staff needs to understand, that yes, Lauri Markkanen, he does his job well. He sits in the corner. He does his pick and pops well. He plays decent defense at times. It's in spades. But there's more we could get out of him, which means there's more we can get out of the Bulls that we just haven't tapped into. That potential that the Bulls to get into the next level, the next stage, we haven't tapped into that. And Lauri Markkanen not being happy or feel like he's being limited is a reason for that. So the coaching staff needs to adjust and change. I've never seen a coaching staff just say, you stand in the corner, that's all you need to do, or you pick a pop, that's it, we don't want you to do anything else. I feel like a lot of coaches would try to adapt their coaching style to the way that the team or players are best suited for to play. And maybe that's just not what's happening with the Bulls. I can't say for sure, because we've seen Jim Boylan change up the rotation a bit due to injury. So we've seen him able to make changes. It's just that at the moment he hasn't made many changes, and that's what we need to look forward to in the future. So that's about Lauri Markkanen. And last but not least, definitely not least, I want to talk about Coby White. Coby White, for anybody that doesn't know, has won the Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month in February. This guy has been balling out in February. He's not arguably, obviously, his best month in the NBA. Averaging nearly 28 points per game. He was getting 30s left, right, and center for like 3-4 games in a row. He's had very, very good stretches. And to be fair, I want to give a positive here. I know he hasn't been necessarily starting, but when he is on a hot streak, he's played over 30 minutes per game. So credit to the coaching staff for that. But we need more. We need the next level. I want to see him guard the elite guards. I don't want to see him coming off the bench and contributing that way. If Zach LaVine is out, let's put Coby White in. And maybe that's just an unnecessary thing to do. I don't know. Like, look, I really don't know. I haven't been watching many Bulls games at the moment. I've kept up with highlights and scores. I've obviously seen Coby White because he's one of my favorite players. But we need to do more with Coby White. And this just shows this stretch shows he's more than just a scorer. He had really good assist numbers as well. I believe for 5 to 6. And there was a really good game where he didn't score much, but he contributed so in other areas extremely well that it made him overall have a fantastic game. I believe he scored like 22 points, but he also had 5 rebounds and 6 assists. He is more than just a scorer. He's not the best facilitator at the moment. We all can agree on that. He's not the best in terms of defense. We can all agree on that. But the guy is in his first year. He's just had an incredible month. And in March, we hope that he can continue it, and so far he is. And there is more to come from Coby White. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this, because I want him to be a permanent starter. I don't want none of this, when Zach LaVine goes out, Coby White comes in, or whatever it is. I want Coby White, especially with Chris Dunn being out for the season, it looks like. By the way, that's something else I needed to talk about. Chris Dunn is out for the season. A major blow, defense and steals will be very impacted on this greatly. He was leading the league in steals when he got injured. Obviously, he's not anymore. And he's also arguably our best defensive player. So we've missed out on a big one with Chris Dunn, and hopefully next season he can come back stronger. But with Coby White, let's put him in that point guard position. Because if it was me, I would, depending on injuries and everything, well, if we don't have everybody back, I would either put Coby White at the point guard or shooting guard position. When Zach LaVine comes back, we push him to the power forward, or with with everybody coming back, we can have small ball or big ball options. So the small ball obviously being putting Otto Porter at the power forward position, and either Lauri or Wendell at the center, or we can if we want to play a big, we can obviously put Zach LaVine at point guard, then Coby White maybe at shooting guard, or vice versa, then Otto Porter, Lauri. Like, we play big ball now. And maybe Daniel Gafford has a chance to start in a big ball lineup. We have versatility. That's what I'm trying to say. And with Coby White, he brings much more versatility than, in my opinion, starting than he does off the bench. He can bring a great contribution to this team that we just don't have at the moment. And Zach LaVine is probably the only one that can say that they've had a very good scoring season. I think Coby White, the averages throughout the whole season, I don't think he can say that. But if he continues throughout this month and next month, and then in April, at the end of the season, he's had a real fantastic end to the season, which will give Bulls fans a lot of promise and a lot of happy vibes going into free agency, knowing when Coby White comes back, he could potentially be one of the better players in the NBA. And especially, you know, I always say the NBA players develop around the third season, and Coby White could develop in that third season, and he could develop into something special. And that's what Bulls fans are holding on to right now, because we don't have much in terms of wins and losses and playoffs at the moment. But what we do have, we have young talent that are improving. We have versatility. We have defense and offense. I think what we need to prove on is, obviously, with our next rookie, we need to improve our bench. We also need to sign some, I wouldn't say A-level free agents, but definitely suitable to our style free agents, so we can actually, let's form an identity. And maybe the coaching staff needs to change as well. That's another thing to look forward to in free agency, if that was to happen. But it doesn't look like Jim Boylan's going anytime soon, so we're going to just have to roll with what's been given to us. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. It's a very long update video, but there was a lot to talk about, and I really believe that there is positivity with not making the playoffs. It's been a bad season. I think we can all agree on that. We were promised something that wasn't given to us. We were promised the 8th seed, basically, from the owners or from the general manager, and things were not delivered. And now excuses are being thrown left, right, and center for fans, for players, ownership, everything. Excuses are being thrown. But at the end of the day, it's a joint effort of why we didn't make the playoffs, and there's still positives to come out of not making the playoffs. We're going to get a lottery pick. There's a higher chance of us getting a better pick than in recent years. But at the end of the day, we need more, and hopefully we can get more. Free agency is something to look forward to now. Of course, there'll be more update videos depending on the news that happens around Chicago. There's not real much to talk about now as we roll on to the end of the season. So a lot of my videos about NBA will basically be about more of the basketball, the NBA outside of the Chicago Bulls, the broader NBA, stuff like playoff predictions, round ones, and all of that. And also disappointments. I plan on making a 5 teams that have the most disappointing seasons, and 5 teams that had a overachieving seasons, stuff like that. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. If anybody that's still in the video, comment that I'm still here, you know, and you can get some recognition in the comments. Anyway, this is the Sports Code. Take care. Peace.